time to kick it. Welcome in to a Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet every single day. Remember, stop in and see Go over in LaPlace, Louisiana, whether you're headed to New Orleans, whether you're headed from New Orleans, stop in and see Lee Carney, Nick Richard, and the crew as they can set you up into a brand new Chevrolet, or if you're looking for a used car over here in Baton Rouge on Florida Boulevard, you can get in touch with the crew over at Go Express Auto Sales, newest edition of the Go Chevrolet family. Daily, our coffee is ground locally by Majestic Coffee.
DeliciousSips.com.
Yes.
I just ordered some online for home as I was sitting here.
Nice. DeliciousSips.com. Majestic Coffee is locally brewed down here in South Louisiana, and all of our phone line guests are compliments of Metropolitan Health Group, Real Doctors, Real Solutions, Charlie Harvey, Jason Ramazan, and the crew over at Metropolitan Health Group. Shout out today to the guest list. Hunt Palmer will be in the UDL coming up here at 7:30 this morning. We will talk about what's going on with LSU Baseball. Tigers will host Louisiana Tech tonight. Oof. Bulldogs are a top 20 team in the country coming in to Alley Box Stadium this evening. Will Helmers will get the start for LSU. We'll ask Hunt his thoughts on the Tigers at 8 a.m. this morning. Big Bad Brad.
Big Bad Brad.
Doink! Back by popular demand. We'll stop in here. My man's social media game is blowing up.
What's the deal with the doink thing?
He calls a shot.
Him and his son threw. We're doing like some accuracy stuff with throwing the football the other day. They were probably about 30 yards out.
Yeah,
both of them.
They did one from 20 and one from 40.
Yeah, he's got a couple other doink videos.
Yeah.
And they just launched one and hit the goalpost. And Brad, Big Bad Brad, turns and looks at the camera, kind of like a Steph Curry 3 when he lets it go and just runs back down the court without even seeing it go through. As soon as he launched it, he looked back at the camera and hit him with the doink. I mean, just a super flex, dude.
His throwing motion is still on point, too. It's still
athlete.
so
I mean,
smooth.
his golf swing is
Flag
pure.
football legend. Right?
Has to be.
His jumper. I mean, he's got to be a
Wet.
pickup jumper. I mean, a pickup basketball legend in the rec.
Big Bad Brad, baby.
Big Bad Brad. We're going to talk to him at 8 a.m. this morning. We'll also talk to him about Max and some of the things that they're working on. Jake was able to commit to LSU since the last time we've talked to Brad, so a lot to catch up with Big Bad Brad Johnson coming up here at 8 a.m. this morning. Then at 8:30, looking forward to our conversation with Adam Miller. Adam Miller will stop in here on the Jordy Culotta Show, and we will ask Miller about the decision to enter the transfer portal, and then the decision to join LSU and Will Wade as Miller comes in after starting all 31 games last season for Illinois. He averaged just under 10 points per contest. He was the number 5 scorer among Big Ten freshmen, led all Big Ten freshmen last season with 52 three-pointers. Scored in double figures 13 times. This is a big-time basketball player as he set the Illinois freshman scoring record with 28 points in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. He was a 4-star recruit, as you heard Coach Wade say yesterday. He was right on the cusp of being a 5-star guy. And if you looked at portal rankings, when you looked at a lot of the guys that were going into the portal early on, Adam Miller was consistently in the top 3. I saw him hovering around 1 to 3 consistently in every service that was talking about these transfers. So Miller will be on with us at 8:30 this morning. Compliments of Metropolitan Health Group, and really looking forward to that conversation. Got a full house this morning. Lizzie's here, Noah's here, Katie's here, Jack's here, and Hunt Palmer will be inside of the UDL.
Do we have room for him?
Coming up in 30 minutes. I don't know what we're going to do.
He can sit in Jack's lap.
We're going to shuffle some people around
I
here.
can tear a wall down.
Yeah, right. A couple of elbows.
Yeah.
Pelicans last night get the win. Or excuse me, they fall last night.
But in losing, they win.
They do.
They had fun. That's
all
The Pelicans play-in tournament hopes are now dangling by a thread with 3 games left. They're in Dallas. They're at Golden State, and then they'll take on the Los Angeles Lakers to close out the season. New Orleans would have to win out and hope that San Antonio, who blew out the Bucks on Monday, lose out the rest of the way. Pelicans still don't have Brandon Ingram. He's still out with the ankle sprain. Zion Williamson was out last night with the fractured finger. So it's going to be tough asks.
I mean,
right
yeah,
here.
go ahead and pack the bags up, huh? Let's
Absolutely.
just get ready for this
the
lottery.
lottery,
Get a
We're
ping
looking
pong
at
ball.
12.
Yeah.
Probably 12. I
mean,
mean, it depends on the way the balls fall.
It depends on where they are, but I mean, as far as their probability goes, they'll have 12th or 13th.
I'd say just go for the
odds.
lottery pick at this point. I mean,
Oh man.
Well, yeah, if you got no
Tank,
Brandon
bro.
Ingram and you got no Zion Williamson, I don't really want to watch
I'd
that
say-
team play
hey,
because I didn't do it last night.
Lonzo, shoot as much as you can. Be confident.
I mean, they were out. They were without Zion. They were out Ingram. Josh Hart was out last night.
Steven Adams
was
was
out
out.
last night. I mean,
Name the other 5 on the court.
it was lucky it was that close.
Yeah.
115, 110. Could you name the other 5 on the court?
No, I could probably get like 3.
Bledsoe.
I could not.
Not
No.
one.
Oh.
Shocker.
The guy from Alabama, I saw them interview Avery Johnson about
Kyra?
him. Yeah, he seems to be good.
Kyra Lewis.
And
He's a
then-
rookie.
And then Nikhil Alexander, I know him.
Jackson Hayes seems to be
Jackson
playing
Hayes.
well.
He had a
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
he
I
had
could-
6 blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could get there.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
If you had
Yeah.
gun to your
Maybe
I
head.
don't wanna, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to watch.
A little
yeah.
bit of a cheat sheet.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I know what you mean. So the Pelicans are outside looking in on the ropes for the play-in tournament. We've got them going into the lottery, and hopefully they can get there pretty quick.
Oh, and guard your nuts on Wednesday because Luca's coming to town.
Not a good look for Luke.
No, it's second ejection in like 5 games or something
And he
like
just
that.
went right at him.
Yeah.
Former Alabama guard,
Colin
Colin
Sexton.
Sexton.
Oh, yes, the young bull.
Yes. Sexton was just trying to gain some ground on trying to box him out, and Luka just went for the nut shot,
shot.
bro.
Nothing
that
was worse than the Draymond Green kick to Steven Adams. Like, you just straight up kicked them.
Yeah, Draymond went on like a
nut tear.
couple of runs there where, I mean, he just was going after
Nutty
it.
Everyone
Tuesday
nuts.
over
I mean,
here.
you could say it lost him a finals championship.
Could have. I mean, it could have been
Did.
one of those decisions that just cost them the series.
Any more nut jokes?
No, well, I'll get there. I mean, I can.
Probably come back to him.
Yeah.
Big Bad Brad will
Brad,
be here
yeah.
at 8 o'clock,
There
bro.
you go.
Huge,
Nuts on nuts.
Huge nuts.
huge nuts energy.
He's a great bull. He got 2 great sons. What a stud.
He is. Louisiana Tech is in town tonight taking on LSU. This does not feel like it's going to end well for the Tigers. We will talk to Hunt Palmer about this coming up, but Louisiana Tech coming in ranked number 14 in D1 baseball, number 16 in USA Today, number 18 in Baseball America, and number 20 in collegiate baseball. The Bulldogs are batting .305 as a team. They are 19-7 in Conference USA, just a half game behind Southern Miss in the league's Western Division standings. They've got a really good defensive team. As we said, LSU is going to throw Will Helmers tonight. I will not act like I can break down this game. Hunt will be here in 20 minutes, and we'll ask him all about it. But it does not feel like that LSU is in a good spot here going into this one. As we were talking a little bit in our production meeting, as Jack pointed out, LSU undefeated in the midweek games. That feels like that's going to come to a screeching halt tonight at 6:30.
I mean, we played them before, and Louisiana Tech was good. I mean, we were on the ropes, and now it's at the point in the time of the series or the year where we're like, all right, a little cause, like, whoa, what's going on?
Little cause for concern here.
Yeah, little did we know. So, see what happens. I mean, mid-game or midday games do matter. Tonight.
Midweek games do matter. If they do, we'll see how much they matter because Louisiana Tech's coming in here.
Is La Tech always good at baseball?
Not always, but they're consistently.
They have years like this where they pop.
Yeah.
Every
Right.
now and then they put together a
But
team.
this is definitely.
They shouldn't be better than LSU.
They're
we should
peaking
be
right now.
yeah.
Right. They should not be
Yeah, that's
the
kinda what I
ones
was
with the
wondering.
ranking next to the name going into an LSU game.
Yeah.
But Trey Morgan, this freshman class, I mean, if you're looking for a little bit of a silver lining to this season, Morgan has to be the shiniest of spots because he was just named the SEC Freshman of the Week for the second time in the last 3 weeks. Morgan, of course, who is out of New Orleans, had a monstrous Auburn series as he batted .529 for the 4 games last
Yep.
week. That was including the midweek game with 4 home runs, a triple, on base percentage of .556, a couple of stolen bags. He had 6 runs scored, 3 runs batted in. In the Auburn series alone, he had .538 with a triple, a home run, 3 ribbies, 4
Great
runs.
defense, too.
Phenomenal defense. So Morgan is LSU's leading hitter for the season.
Stealing it from Cruz, that freshman mojo.
Batting .363, 13 doubles, 4 triples, 12 stolen bags. So we'll talk to Hunt about some of these freshmen and how they continue to shine. But Trey Morgan just kind of running away with it down the stretch.
With the new transfer portal and the rumors swirling around LSU baseball about head coaching, does that make you nervous about these two freshmen maybe exploratory other places? I don't know how it transitions to baseball.
That's a good Hunt question because I don't know. I mean, usually these guys, as soon as the season ends, they get off and start playing summer ball. I mean, they
go Cape Cod.
They're away from the team, and kind of the coaches are placing them where they want them in the offseason. So we'll ask Hunt about that. Speaking of the transfer portal, we talked to TJ Finley last week, and we asked him on whether or not SEC schools were still in play for a couple of his choices, and he said he was going to wait to see whether or not the in-conference transfer rule was ruled upon in the next couple of weeks, and that would kind of dictate his decision. It looks like the decision has been made, right? I mean, look over in Tuscaloosa, Alabama had a pretty good weekend on the transfer portal recruiting trail as they landed the number one linebacker in the portal, and he comes from Tennessee, and that is Henry 2020.
God, it's got.
I'm sure you'll learn it. I'm sure you'll learn his name this year.
Yes.
How do you be a Tennessee fan right now? It's just you always just get kicked in the gut.
I don't know if you do. I mean, it would be horrible to be a Tennessee fan over the last decade plus. But Saban goes into the portal and gets the number one linebacker, and obviously, I mean, Saban's not making that move unless he knows the rule, and I'd imagine that the rule will be ruled on here. Pretty soon here, that in-conference transfer is going to be legit, like it's going to be okay, because Saban's not signing the number one linebacker and him sitting on the sidelines. That ain't going to happen. They also picked up an Ohio State wide receiver, Jamison Williams, who transferred in to Alabama a month after Saban
beat them.
Yes, thumped them. So rich get richer in the transfer portal over the weekend, but that was just pointing out that it looks like that in-conference transfer rule, while not ruled on publicly, has been discussed behind closed doors, and Saban has spoken.
Right, that's who they were asking. They were waiting to see if he wanted to do it or not.
Right. Well, it depends on if I land this guy out of Tennessee. If we do, we're going to go ahead and get that rule changed. So expect that rule to be ruled upon here pretty soon. Big day for our boy John Stefanski, as yesterday the gambling bill passed through the House of Representatives, and talking to the representative yesterday afternoon, he seemed spent yesterday evening on game day, as we saw him yesterday morning. He got suited up and was up at the Capitol, and it seemed like it was a very long day. At times he seemed confident in the build-up and the preparation for having it on the floor, but when the day came, he had to do a lot of politicking.
Did you go watch in person?
I did not, but Michael Thompson was up there, our guy. He was up there and was kind of giving me some feedback, and he was kind of giving me some play-by-play on Stefanski working the room.
Like, I'm trying to think what would the cons be, because we don't get taxed. It's FanDuel that would get taxed, so it's why that benefits us.
Yes, look, for I guess people from our vantage point, we don't understand what some of the naysays may be. But like he explained yesterday, anything that has any types of fees or taxes attached to it, there's going to be a group of representatives that are just going to vote against it, so they can always go back to their constituents and say, anytime anybody put a fee or a tax in front of me, I always voted no for you. And while that wasn't the biggest contingency yesterday, I mean, you were dealing with some parishes that were a little sketchy on gambling. And I mean, I know that we live in Louisiana. I mean, I know that we celebrate. We're able to we have drive-through daiquiri shops, and we're able to take to-go cups out of bars and restaurants
statewide.
But for whatever reason, some sections of our state are a little weary of gambling, which is crazy.
Every day's a gamble here.
It's amazing.
It's still a very conservative state.
What's that?
It's still a very conservative
For sure.
state.
Well, I mean, I think when he explained the marijuana bill yesterday,
Yeah.
that was a little insight on that. But Stefanski was.
You say nervous. I'd say he was just doing his due diligence, dude. Probably just making sure P's and Q's, dot some I's, cross some T's.
Either way, big win for the man yesterday in the bill as it moves forward. And Louisiana takes
a big win for this room.
Takes a step. It could be
once he runs
for our entire industry.
Yes.
For our entire industry.
I don't gamble. I've never gambled, like sports betting.
We can get
I
to
guess
it.
I'll start.
Yes.
You've been living in a state where it's been illegal. Now, hopefully, you'll have the access on your phone.
Do it.
Sure they do.
Yes,
but
we do.
It could be as easy as opening
as
up
an
your
app.
phone.
Yeah.
And looking at a Mississippi State LSU game and
Right.
saying, you know what, I'm bored today. Let me throw $25 on the Bulldogs.
That's dangerous.
It is.
It is. Well,
Very
not
dangerous.
dangerous. If you do it responsibly, it's
Right.
perfectly normal and makes everybody happy.
We can make this a
You're
sports
right,
book.
Lloyd.
Yes.
We
Could
just
make
need
this
like
thing-
100K up front.
Well, I mean, look, that's why
Lloyd.
we're linked up with Go Chevrolet with all the money boys over there with Lee Carney and Nick Richard. Cody Boudreaux asked when is he running for governor? I've got him as the state's next attorney general. I think that he's going for Jeff Landry's seat next.
AG first.
AG
Sean Bell
first,
out.
and then governor next. Look, he is a political rising star in our state, and yesterday was a big win for him.
Neil Benedetto says alcohol delivery was passed. I didn't realize that.
Wow.
But that's amazing.
What's that, like Uber Eats? Like,
Yeah, they
How
have.
lazy.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm here for
yeah.
it.
I've seen that they
Oh my
have
gosh,
services
I've
for
been
like
waiting for
wine
that.
and stuff where they deliver like bubbly or something like
Yeah.
that. Where
During
they,
COVID, there was a
they'll
lot.
deliver you some
They
wine.
did during COVID. You
What-
can order some drinks through like Waiter, like with your meal from a restaurant.
True.
But I'm talking about like you're ordering like from Rouse's, like beer to get delivered.
Yeah,
Wow.
like Instacart.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just responsible. If I've already had a couple suds and I want to go back and get
Exactly.
some more, just bring them to me instead. Everybody
Exactly.
wins.
I can do something. I can do
Yeah.
it.
Daily, we're brought to you by Falaya. Remember, over at Falaya, everything has changed. Isn't it time technology made buying and selling a house easier and a whole lot cheaper? We introduce to you Falaya. From virtual tours to push-button offers, Falaya is redefining how real estate is sold. Call Barrett Blondo and his crew today over at Falaya Real Estate, 225-939-6153, 939-6153, or online at falaya.com. 939-6153 or falaya.com. Download the app today. Just visit Falaya in your app store, whether you're on Google, whether you're on Android. Just download the Falaya app or visit them online at falaya.com. We'll talk to Hunt Palmer here in a couple of minutes. Before we get there, I got to talk about. I cannot believe that Tim Tebow is being given a shot to come back to the NFL.
It's his boy.
I mean,
This was
it
coming.
is amazing to me that Urban Meyer is showing that he is this disconnected from the job so early on. I mean, I thought it was bad enough that Meyer tried to hire Chris Doyle, the
Much maligned strength coach.
the strength coach out of the University of Iowa, where, I mean, it was obvious and evidence was clear that he had created an environment that was very uncomfortable for his student athletes. And it got to a point where the evidence that was coming out of there was, how did this exist? I mean, how did this continue to go on year in, year out, where Kurt Ferenz had to call a press conference and ultimately fire Chris Doyle, who he called one of his lifetime best friends at that press conference. I mean, it had become so clouded that this guy was over there running this and creating this environment that student athletes were giving feedback that, look, man, this is very uncomfortable. And finally, through whatever happened last season, they remove him. And within months, within weeks, Urban Meyer is hiring him to the same position with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, you want to talk about out of touch and unaware. And then Meyer has to accept the guy's resignation nearly 48 hours after hiring him, and had this type of shock of tone in the press conference, in the letter, like, I can't believe, you can't believe it. What do you, how unattached and how unaware are you? And I think this is another example that Meyer is only going to become another cautionary tale of guys that have had success in the college game that cannot make the transition to the NFL. I mean, are you serious with giving Tim Tebow a contract to play tight end after the last snap this guy took in the NFL was in 2015 in the preseason? I mean, it's hard enough to spell out being an NFL prospect with that going against you. I mean, when I heard about Aldon Smith making the return for the Dallas Cowboys after being 3 years removed and playing football, I thought out loud, no way. no shot he makes it. Just because of the physical toll and physical demand, that game, it doesn't urge out of you. It commits out of you. You have to be in tip-top shape. You've got to be ready to be physical, that beyond your wildest dreams. I mean, like, the physical play in the NFL is you can't explain it. And if you haven't been around it for an extended amount of time and just think you can step right back into it, I think that this is, if it's a ploy to sell tickets and you're bringing in a hometown guy, I think there's other ways to do it. There's other ways to make Tim Tebow a part of the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise without taking up somebody's roster spot. I think that this is going to create division in the locker room. Yeah. I think that Urban Meyer's message is going to be lost on his team before he even starts to coach them.
Do you know how much money Tebow's getting?
He's getting a year deal. I mean, I can't imagine what it would be. I mean, I guess the rookie minimum or the veteran minimum,
600
somewhere around there. But he's 33 years old.
After playing baseball.
Has never played tight end in his life. I mean, I'm talking about, like, consistently played tight end. I know he took a couple of snaps with the Jets, which, by the way, look up they tried to run him on a couple of leak routes out of the backfield and hit him in the face mask. I mean, it was almost making a mockery out of the sport. If I'm a tight end in the Jacksonville Jaguars locker room, you've lost me. You've lost me before the season's even started. We're going to bring this sideshow in. We're going to bring this guy in that obviously has got no respect within the NFL as far as his game goes. I mean, he's nearly been laughed out of every single locker room he's been in. And Urban Meyer, one of his first orders of business as the Jaguars coach is to re-sign this guy and give him a shot at tight end. What happens when Trevor Lawrence in the first 3 games has a poor performance and Meyer's got to go to the press conference and be asked, now you're going to give Tim Tebow a shot this week to play quarterback? How much distraction is Tebow going to be pushing his agenda and pushing his BS?
That's the thing.
I mean, has there ever been a more defined narcissist in sports than Tebow?
No.
I mean, he was the last one to figure out that the Mets signed you to sell tickets, bro. He was like thinking he was going to make it to the show.
What did he make it to AA?
I think.
They let him go as far as he wanted to go. I mean, that was just, I don't think he played his way into any particular position.
Wow.
Is he a bad locker room guy? Do people think that? Because, I mean, when I think of Tim Tebow, I think of what he did at Florida, and obviously he was...
Yeah, but Lloyd, that doesn't translate to the
NFL. That's what I'm asking. Urban Meyer obviously knows him better than we do, so I'm wondering
that's the last time he saw Tebow.
Yeah.
The last time he saw Tebow is when he was crying in the locker room telling everybody, 60 minutes for the rest of your life. Give him the varsity blues
He is very
speech.
high school.
That's the thing, so
You know what I
annoying.
mean? Like, it's
Last
that...
game was against Cincinnati after Bama curb stomped them.
The bowl game.
The bowl game. Tebow senior year. Bama curb stomped them, the SEC.
Urban
champions.
Meyer? When he faked the heart attack on the sideline?
No, that's when he ate pizza. I think something about Tim Tebow's
With Tebow.
last career
Oh.
game. Yeah.
You're talking about with Urban Meyer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's...
He faked it hard.
But we're going to be watching and talking about it.
I mean,
I mean, we're all fired up about
Tim
it.
Tebow is not going to pull my eyeballs to the Jacksonville Jaguars as
But
a
you're going to
football
be curious.
Trevor
though.
I know that I'm
Lawrence
talking about it here the morning after they're talking about signing this guy to a contract. I just can't I can't believe that Urban Meyer thinks in his first NFL job that 2 of the first orders of business that he's come to the table with was hiring Chris Doyle as his strength coach and signing Tim Tebow as a tight end.
And
I
when he-
mean, is this a circus, bro? What are we? What is the purpose here? What are we trying to accomplish? At this point, Meyer feels like he's going to be a Nick Saban, Steve Spurrier flameout.
How long do you think he's going to last?
Tebow's Trevor Lawrence's
His
first
first
contract.
contract.
I mean, if this is what we're getting, if this is the type of program that he's running, where you're bringing in Tim Tebow to play tight end, and you think it's a good idea to hire Chris Doyle in a personnel position, then I don't think he makes it through Trevor Lawrence's first contract, which is what, 4 years?
We were talking about the odds are stacked. There's only 2 coaches ever from college to go up to the NFL, 2 winning records. It's Jim Harbaugh, and the other is Bill O'Brien, laughingstock of the NFL.
Exactly, and he got laughed out of the league. He is now the offensive coordinator for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I mean, that's the fall. I mean,
Yeah,
I think Matt Rule's going to be good.
Yeah, we agreed on that.
I think Matt Rule is got a chance to be pretty successful. I think Cliff Kingsbury, like we said, is a walking 8-8, but he's selling sex, so everybody's buying. So you know what I mean? There's ways to be successful from the jump, but I mean, Urban Meyer has shown, in my opinion, through the first 3 months on the job that he's lost. He's lost. You know, and I mean, my so much is not to bang on Tebow. I mean, what do we expect Tim Tebow to do if he's given an opportunity at 33 years old to go be in front of a camera again? What do you think Tebow's going to say? He's obviously going to say yes. I mean, the guy hadn't turned down a camera or a spot in his entire life.
I mean, he had cameras falling around in high school.
But Urban Meyer, you really think that this is the best decision for your first NFL season as a head coach with the number 1 pick in the draft as a quarterback? And you're going to bring in a sideshow, somebody who is going to demand all this attention and not run away from it. That's the thing about Tebow. He's not going to downplay any of it. He's going to eat all of it up.
Yes,
He's going to ask for more. I mean, I just, when I saw that, I could not believe. We didn't bring up Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson is the alpha of the examples.
Can you get back to the fake heart attack thing? I'm not familiar. Just quickly, what happened?
SEC Championship 2009?
I was going to say 2009.
2009. In 2008, he beat Alabama in the SEC Championship, but you could feel, no pun intended, you could feel the tide starting to rise on Urban Meyer. I mean, he was losing high ground. By 2009, the next season, they had defeated Florida in the SEC Championship, and the shift of power had happened in the conference. It had gone from Florida to Alabama, and Meyer recognized, I can't beat this guy. I can't beat him on the field, and I can't beat him on the recruiting trail. And he started having these dizzy spells on the sidelines where, you know, I'm not going to say that he was faking, because that's tough to say that. But looking back on it, it looked like he was faking.
Yeah.
And then and he says he's getting out of football because he's got health concerns, and then a year out of football, the Ohio State job opens up, and he goes to Ohio State. Well, I thought you were sick.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But then he draws up a fake contract for his family that he has framed in his office that says, I will not do so and stress myself out at this job. And he had to sign it, and he had his family sign it.
Kidding?
And immediately does all the things he said he wasn't going to do.
Very Hollywood.
Yes.
Very Hollywood.
Urban Meyer loves himself some Urban Meyer. Tim Tebow loves himself some Tim Tebow.
That's why they
Majors,
are just a
Simpatico.
match made in heaven. You know what I mean? Pete Carroll as well.
Carroll.
Pete Carroll's a good one.
Yeah.
Not our best production meeting.
Not our best.
But
Not our best.
I think this more speaks volumes to how Urban Meyer thinks he's kind of untouchable. Like, this is the same thing. This is kind of the clown show he was running at Florida, but because he was winning and the spotlight wasn't what it is now in 2021, he could get away with the things that he was doing there, where he would bring in Chris Doyle, who should not be touched by anybody in the NFL with what he did, and he thought he could just slide him in on a Friday presser, and people picked up on it. But, so when you're in the NFL, you're not going to be able to get away with these kind of moves, these kind of under-the-table dealings that he's used to doing. He's not be able to do that in the NFL, and it's already showing up.
Yeah.
Daily, we're brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Daniel Newman. Remember, you can get in touch with Daniel Newman, who is an experienced financial advisor who has a demonstrated history of working with financial services. Whether you are like us, we just rolled over our 401k to Daniel Newman and Edward Jones, or if you're out in the plants and working this morning over at Dow, BASF, Exxon, and have questions about your financial future, your financial stability, or just about some investments you can make with some finances that you have laying around, get in touch with Daniel Newman online, or you can email him at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com, or you can call him directly at 225-261-8262. My man has been fired up about all the success that LSU's been having on the recruiting trail. We'll talk to Adam Miller, the Illinois transfer, coming up 1 hour from now. But if you want to get in touch with Daniel Newman about financial stability, about some questions that you may have about your finances, get in touch with him this morning. 225-261-8262 is the phone number, or email him at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Hunt Palmer talking about all of it. LSU basketball transfers, LSU baseball taking on Louisiana Tech tonight. We'll also talk to him about some of the all-season stories and draft stories around football, around the football program. Coming up next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, jordy@jordyculotta.show.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. jordy@jordyculotta.show.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in LaPlace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. So you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah.
Welcome back here to a Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Hunt Palmer, who is a Tuesday regular with us, back inside of the UDL. Always good to catch up with Hunt. What do you make of all this great basketball news?
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's fun. He's just relentless at putting together a roster. He's the best I've ever seen here at doing it, and he does it every single year. And in an era where that's now the name of the game, is to just, it's not building a program, it's assembling a roster for that team and then figuring out the next one. He's awesome at it.
Right at the top of the league again, in my opinion, with what he's done in just the last 2 weeks. What do you make of this roster right now? We asked him yesterday if he was done, and it seemed like he was. I mean, he's poking around, but it seems like this could be the roster and what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I think Alabama's going to be good. Auburn's going to be good. Tennessee, Arkansas, Kentucky. But LSU, I think, is a top 3 or 4 team in the league. Chance to win it, I think. They've got just about every piece. I don't see necessarily a true point guard. Penson's not a true point. He's a 14-point-a-game guy that shoots a lot. So they don't have anybody that'll run the show like maybe Tremont would. But they've been just fine with Skylar and Javante running it the last 2 years, and this won't be too different than that. So, you'd still love to see that true guy, but they got every other piece you could want.
Do you know anything about any of these guys coming in? Adam Miller, we will talk to Adam Miller at 8:30 this morning. He seems like the most recognizable of the guys just because of the success that he had on a top-flight team last season, and specifically what he did in the tournament, scoring the 28 for the Illini.
He was Mr. Basketball in Illinois twice. They got a few players in Illinois. That's the deal for Brad Underwood. You got a guy who's Mr. Basketball in your state twice. He's a top 50 player in the country. You spend all that time recruiting him, bring him into the program. You've got a top 5 team, gets a 1 seed. He's a big piece of it, starts, and then bolts right after that. It's just brutal nature of the sport right now. But, yeah, I mean, left-handed, good athlete. Wasn't a high percentage shooter this year, but made more threes than any freshman in the Big Ten. just a good athlete and a good scorer that they'll use right out of the chute.
Who do you have the most expectation for who is coming back on this team? There was not a lot of guys, whether it's Sharif O'Neal, Joshua
Days
Wall.
if he came
No
back.
doubt about it. But like Mawani Wilkinson would be mine. I think that he is kind of set to have a nice jump from year 1 to year 2.
In what way?
I think that he helps you defensively.
Yeah.
And I think that he is a athletic guy that they were discounted last year. I think that we did not talk about how unathletic of a team they essentially were. And I think that athletically this year they take a bit of a jump with Eason, and I think Mawani another year in a weight program, and kind of he's very much a raw athlete when you just see him run and bounce around. He's got all the essentials, but I think in year 1 to year 2 he kind of he's able to box those out.
He'll defend and rebound for sure, and he'll help you there. There's because of the guys they brought in with what Miller wants to do offensively. Pinson's surely going to shoot it a lot. You've now got 2 guys on the block that you think can score. If Days comes back, he's going to command some shots. Like, I don't know that Mwani's going to score very much because he just doesn't shoot. I mean, he'll get his dunks and putbacks. I mean, what did he shoot, like 80% last year? But I think his role is similar, maybe just a little bit more fine.
LSU Baseball, Trey Morgan named again for the second time in the last 3 weeks the SEC Freshman of the Week. He was electric.
He's a star.
He was electric the last 4 games. Well, not even the last 4 games, really the last month. How good is he? I mean,
he's one of those guys you never really know. Because when you play high school, I've watched more high school baseball in the last 5 weeks, calling games on TV, than I hadn't been to a high school game since I played my last one in 06. And you look at it, and they see a lot of 82 to 86. That's what the good players see. Now, they go play travel ball, and they see some of the other guys that are going to play, and then, of course, you've got your fall. But you never really know how those guys are going to handle 91, 93 consistently until they get up here and do it. And sometimes they just can't catch up. It's just, I was great at bashing homers and hitting 520 when guys were throwing 83 miles an hour. Now they're all throwing 93 with good breaking balls, and I can't. He's one of those guys that saw it in the fall and saw it early and went, oh, I can, and got his time. And now he's a star. He's as good a hitter as there is in the league. I mean, he's ripping the ball all fields, hitting for some power. He's perfect in the leadoff spot. He runs well. He steals bases. He takes pitches. He hits the ball the other way. You can't shift him. He's been perfect up there, and he's a guy that has gotten his chance, gotten used to this type of arm, and has been great.
How concerning is the transfer portal in baseball? Or how much of an advantage could it be?
I don't think it's going to be as big. The guys who have their eyes dead set on pro ball aren't here. So that's one thing. And then the other is you're only really there for 3 years anyway if you're anybody. So I don't know that it's going to be a huge deal. It's always a part of it because there are always defections in December because it's 11.7 scholarships and we got to move things around, move money around, and you don't really have a home here. So it's always a factor there. I don't see it. I don't see Paul Maneri or whoever the head coach is at LSU moving forward ever looking at a roster like Will Wade has to look at it and just start plucking a shortstop here and get 2 guys from the bullpen here and go get me a Sunday starter. I don't see that yet.
LSU's got a top strength of schedule. I've seen 1 through 3. It didn't matter the service. And tonight is one of the biggest games as far as the strength of schedule goes when you talk about Louisiana Tech. When did Louisiana Tech become this good? How good are they? And what do you expect?
They've got a good offense. I mean, we saw that when they played back here in February. Lane Burroughs took over there and has done a good job. He was at Northwestern State, and he relied on some JUCO guys early. And look, there's enough talent in North Louisiana for Louisiana Tech to be good. Now, for them and ULM to be really good, that's a little bit of a stretch, but there are some good high school baseball programs up there. Evangel and Calvary have had some good teams in Shreveport. Airline puts out good players. Captain Shreve's been good. Bird had a really good team this year. Then you go to Ruston, who's put out some really good players. Washita Christian's always very good. There are enough players up there where Louisiana Tech should not be the doormat they were for quite a long time. And obviously they've got a new facility now because of the tornado that came through a couple of years ago. It's a good team. There's no doubt. And they're going to be fired up to play tonight. I mean, they were, and they came out swinging the bats back in February, and their pitching let them down, and LSU won a slugfest. Dugas hit a grand slam, and LSU got back into it after they bashed Labus around for a couple of innings. But, yeah, it's a team that's good, and they're going to be fired up to play tonight.
Helmers gets the spot here, gets the start here. What do you anticipate from him?
So it's another Thursday, Friday, Saturday series this weekend, and so it's coming pretty quick. He throws 5 or 6 innings tonight, he's toast. So kind of depends on how you want to handle it. I think you probably limit it more to 3 innings and then throw some of the guys in the bullpen and count on your bats to show up against Louisiana Tech's midweek guys. But Helmer's got to throw that breaking ball, throw strikes, and hope they hit it at people.
Alabama has been a surprise of the conference, right?
They've won some games over the last couple of weeks against bad teams. They lost their ace, who literally could have been the first pick in the draft. He would not have. Now that Leiter's done what he's done, and we know Rocker, so Prelip would not have eventually been the number 1 pick in the draft because those guys would have. But he's a top 8 pick for sure. He's been hurt, came back for an inning against Auburn a couple weeks ago, but is not a factor to this point. I have not read anything this week that would lead me to believe that we'll see him for any sort of extended time. Probably not at all. That hurts because he's a left-handed guy that throws 96 miles an hour and is a star. I think he threw 26 scoreless last year before COVID hit. He's awesome, but he was supposed to be their guy. They haven't had him, but they've picked up the slack. They've beat some of the lesser teams on their schedule and are right there in the mix to make the tournament.
It was good to see Mikhail Hilliard have success, right? I mean, where has he been and how does he fit in down the stretch?
Same mound he beat Casey Meisel on a couple years ago. I mean, just, that he's got 1+ pitch. The breaking ball is really good, and it's got a high spin rate, and it drops off the table, and it's hard to hit. So when he can get that thing over for a strike when he wants it and bounce it when he wants to get strikeouts, he's effective. Do I think he's going to necessarily sustain that 3 times through an order consistently moving forward? Probably not. But if he can go out there in game 3s and throw 5 innings of 1-run baseball, that'll get you in the game. I mean, what you saw on this past game 3 is more than you can ask for from him. But he's a guy who's done it before.
I feel like I ask you the same question or around about this question every week, but it's always these freshmen that are producing and making these moments. Jordan Thompson's home run last week I thought was spectacular in the moment. Trey Morgan, we've talked about. Dylan Cruz made some plays defensively last week that really stood out. You are a historian of this program. How good is this freshman class when you think about potentially what they could be like from a nucleus of a program building standpoint?
They've got 3 absolute hits, and I think a 4th hit. I think Drost is going to be really good. So, I mean, Cruz is a middle-of-the-order, power, offensive threat bat who's an All-American. That's, the linchpin of any class. Morgan is a stud on defense at a position where you usually don't have that. He's a perfect fit at leadoff. He handles velocity, he steals bases, plays with some emotion. He's another big-time hit there. Thompson plays a premium defensive position well, has a little bit of power that he'll grow into. Big-time hit there. And then I think Brody Drost is going to be a good piece in the outfield at some point for him. So I think there are 4 guys in this class that can really help. And then the other part of this is that I don't know that Gavin Dugas is going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, if he wants to go, give it a go, okay. But also, you may be just a really good college player. It's the same thing we talked about with Days. It's Jared Poche. It's some of those guys that Rafe Rhymes. It's just come be a really good college player for your home state team. That would give you 2 more years of him if he's hitting 10, 12, 13 home runs a year. So they've got some pieces. I was on the live stream this weekend, and I'm looking. I'm going, God, it's not a great team. It's not. They're not very good. They've dug themselves such a hole. They may not even make the tournament. But I start looking at the lineup, and I'm going, Morgan is really good. Cruz is really good. Dugas is a good college player. Thompson has given him some offense. Doty's got some ability. DiGiacomo's hitting the ball hard every once in a while. We've seen Beloso. Like, they're not that bad.
Right. They're not that far off.
They're not close to Vanderbilt. They can't beat Arkansas 3 out of 4 times. Like, they're not there. They're not a team that we want that's going to win a national championship that's right in the thick of it. But if they can get in, they can cause some problems on a weekend just because they got Marceau at the front. You think Levis is decent. Now, eventually, over a course of a weekend, the bullpen will probably fail them, especially in a regional. They don't win all 3 in a row because they just don't have the depth of arms. But they're not terrible.
How many recruiting classes does it take you to build depth in a bullpen?
1.
Really?
I mean, yeah, with this, yeah, you just got to go get
just focus a class on pitching?
Well, 1 or 2 JUCO kids that can pitch, and then you got to go find your Devin Fontenot, who's ready to go as a freshman. Matty Ott was ready to go as a freshman. Like, you can find them. I mean, there is nothing that takes 3 recruiting classes. That's a whole team. You're going to cycle a couple guys out by then. So, I'm concerned about the pitching for next year. Floyd's shown a little bit more of a breaking ball. Edwards, I still don't see like some super plus pitch from him, but he gets guys out. So I like that. There are some young arms that have got a chance, but none that have been given a huge opportunity on the weekend that have cashed.
The SEC Network has announced that the next documentary they will launch will be titled Hold the Rope, and it'll be a story about the legendary LSU head baseball coach Skip Bertman and turning the program into the powerhouse that he left in 2001. What are you anticipating watching here? This is gonna be great.
It'll be educational for me. I wasn't here for that.
Right.
I mean, I didn't really follow an LSU baseball team from February on until 2000. I was 12 for that. So I can't go around the horn on the 93 team. Like, I don't know. I honestly don't even know. I think Todd Walker was on that team, but I don't know those years as well.
Todd Walker, Russ Johnson, Jason Williams.
Yeah.
Was the second shortstop and third baseman. I'm trying to remember who the first baseman was on that. Johnny Telechia was the first baseman. Furness was the first baseman on the 93 team. Telechia was the first baseman on that 91 team. Chris Mook was a quarterback on the football team that played third base. The shortstop out of Sandoval, Andy Sheets, was phenomenal.
So
Tookie Johnson was.
I watched the Warren Morris homer, but in Shreveport you couldn't watch LSU baseball. So I no recollection of any team, any player before that. I just knew the guys had the gold shirts on were the ones I wanted to win. So it'll be educational for me to watch it. I mean, I know about Ben McDonald's team that went and beat A&M, and I can see the last outs, and I know Laxton and all. I'm aware of what happened, but in terms of watching it, seeing it in picture form, it'll be educational for me because I wasn't around for any of that.
People are starting to talk of college football just way far out now that rosters are starting to become pretty firmed up. It looks like LSU has a contending roster in the league. What is your expectation way far out from kickoff?
I think it's a good team. I hope the offensive line, they won't make a step quite like A&M's did last year, but A&M's offense, if you remember in 2019 when they came to Tiger Stadium, they could not block at all. They were atrocious on the offensive line. They were phenomenal on the offensive line last year. All they did was, they made Kellen Mond look functional. So they ran the ball like crazy, were really, really good up front. If LSU can do that, they'll be really good because I think the defensive front will hold its own. The linebackers that they'll get in that weren't here in spring for injury or transfer will help. And then I don't have to really worry much about the defensive backs. And I think the quarterback's going to be fine. So I think it's going to be a good team. I mean, I'm not going to pick them to go win in Tuscaloosa, and they'll probably drop 1 or 2 along the way. And I don't know that I'm calling for a national championship bid right this second, but I think it's a team that I'll be really excited for when they kick it off against UCLA.
Good to see you, brother.
All right, see y'all.
Hunt Palmer, checking in this morning. Anything to promote? No podcast happening right now?
Not a thing.
Wow, lucky you. All right, Hunt Palmer checking in every Tuesday right here on the Jordy Culotta Show as he drops knowledge to us. We can talk it all. And daily, we're brought to you by Nevadis. Remember, over at Nevadis, they design and develop custom web and mobile applications that help businesses solve some of the most challenging pain points related to your staff, customers, and processes. Let Nevadis take care of you today. Some of their favorite things that they like to automate include order management, quotes and invoices, inventory management, digitizing paperwork, and lots more. Get in touch with Randall Knockman and the crew over there at Nevadis. Nevadis.com, online, social media, all over the place. Daily, I'm usually wearing the hat, and you see the logo, but get in touch with Nevadis about custom web and mobile applications. We'll come back and close out hour one. Big Bad Brad Johnson going to stop by here at 8 a.m. Adam Miller, the transfer combo guard from Illinois, will be stopping by the conversation at 8:30 this morning. Still lots to get to here on the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Go Chevrolet every day. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in LaPlace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy at jordyculotta.show.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy at jordyculotta.show.com to learn more. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, presented daily by Go Chevrolet. Katie just said out loud, Jesse McCormick is behind on the show. He is. He must not have watched yesterday. No. Have we talked about DK Metcalf running the 10-3 at 6'3", 240? We call him the best athlete in the country right now.
Keep up, Jesse. LeBron
James probably had that title for the last 20 years when you just think of athletes in our country, in USA, that we are...
racking my brain.
A guy that could probably pick up a golf club, put on track cleats, or put on a football helmet and be successful.
It might be Big Bad Brad.
Big Bad Brad would be an ancient athlete of that division. LeBron James is probably the alpha in that division, but
Mookie Betts is good at bowling.
DK Metcalf feels like the rookie there. Mookie Betts would be a good one.
Yeah, you got to think about what they'd be dominant in, because Mookie Betts, bowling, I guess that's cool.
Basketball.
Yeah, but Betts looks like he'd be a good defensive back.
Right. I'm saying
the
speed, though, then you see, I would imagine DK is upper echelon and physique, like that kind of.
Could you imagine
takes the cake.
DK Metcalf posting you up?
No.
That sounds
What
terrifying.
I mean? Could you imagine DK Metcalf
in a
standing
baseball
in a batter's
uniform?
box, right, playing center field?
Just catches it with his
hand. He's line to line. He cover line to line in center field. Chris Jarrell asks, has anyone found out why Jacques Doucette's Twitter account got suspended?
I wanted to ask that too.
You got suspended?
Why?
Listen why.
Oh, you're going to tell us?
Yeah, I asked Jacques.
You did?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I was scared
Breaking
to bring it up,
news.
but I really wanted to know.
False COVID reports.
I said, Jacques, bro, last Friday, I'm like, because I know Jacques, man, it's one of his...
That's his deal.
That's one of his weapons.
Yes.
This is. I mean,
if you took Twitter away from Jordy,
a weapon of mass destruction for Jacques Doucette, man.
Jordy had the whole world confused with his emoji use. After a boot up, it's a freezy face. They was like, "What does that mean?"
Cold-blooded.
Cold, yeah.
So I said, Jacques, what happened, bro? So he says, 2 years ago, I did a charity lip sync battle, which I've done that. And
that's 2 tequila shots deep for your boy, no doubt.
That was a cringy night.
Yeah,
for your boy,
there's no way to avoid that.
Cringy night. 2 years ago, I did a charity lip sync battle with Rohan, and posted a clip. Apparently, that was a musical copyright infringement.
These people.
Ambient music in the bar. Jacques said he filed an appeal and hopefully will be lifted the next week.
And that's it?
Wait, you can play music on Twitter.
That's it.
I thought it was going to
I
be
see
way
people
juicier
killed
than
on
that.
Twitter.
Yeah,
Hold on.
exactly.
How's that the community guy?
Is that unreal?
Come on.
I told Jacques, I said somebody in the executive level's got it out for
Yeah,
you.
you
bro.
pissed somebody off.
Phone to pick.
I mean, go down your text.
Ambient
bro.
music in the background.
How about that?
I mean, we're doing that now.
That's so weak.
Lloyd, turn it down.
There you
Wait,
go.
what
YouTube's
was
about
your?
to shut us down.
Yeah,
You just
what
said.
was your little lip sync song?
I
All
wish I
bad
was a
girls.
little bit taller. I wish I was a baller.
baller.
And that's the only part of the song that we knew.
Oh, of course.
And we showed up so unprepared. When we showed up, people were like dressed up in costumes. People were on roller skates. People had colored their hair. People
this is gonna
were
go
in
great.
wigs.
You showed up unprepared?
Shocking, I know.
So shocking.
Shocking.
Wait, not
I
only
know.
that, these people are dressed to the
This
nines,
is
and
the-
Jordy doesn't even know the words to his own goddamn song.
This is the only time this has ever happened to me in my life that I was unprepared to this degree.
Oh, my God.
But we show up in like work collared shirts.
Yeah, like I'll do this and
You know what I
leave.
mean? Like, let me get in and get out. You guys go first. I'm like, first? All right, yeah, we'll set the mood for the night, right? I mean, we got booed off the stage. It was so cringy, like thinking back
You got
on it.
booed at a
Yeah,
charity
that-
event?
Charity event.
Well, if you show up
And
unprepared.
Our
and-
buddy,
Oh.
yes.
I got a TikTok idea right now.
Oh, God. I'm like, oh, God, get me out of here.
Do you have any video or pictures from
No.
Oh, we can't play him on
Someone
Twitter.
does.
He'll get banned.
No, yeah.
that? You
There
can play it on
was-
TikTok.
One of our friends' wives was there, and she was working the event. And I remember she looked at, it was Derek Panamsky and I that were out there doing the lip syncing, and like 45 seconds in, you could see like she was pale white, embarrassed for us, and she was kind of doing like
It's enough.
shut it down.
God, was that
Shut
bad?
it down. Shut it down. Because, I mean, we did get to a point where, I mean, it was a lip sync battle, Katie. We didn't know the words to the
Right.
song.
Yeah.
I mean, we were sitting there just mouth moving
Yeah, just-
without, and like, when I tell you that the acts that followed us were so eccentric and
Polished.
just great. I mean, like, they were so good. And I mean, I thought me and Panamsky on the way, golly, we're huge assholes, man. I mean, we totally disrespected this event. And
It would have been better not to go.
but you know what? I guarantee you that people probably remember us more than they do anybody else, because they were just like,
100%.
what not to do. You know what I mean?
You probably made a bunch of people very nervous after
Yes.
that, or either very confident. It's like, oh God, now I don't want to do it at all.
We had two people that, like, the Lauren Westbrook, the morning show host on WAFB at the time, was another contestant. And she walked up to Derek and I after, was like, thank you.
Yeah.
I know that I can't be worse than y'all.
Yes.
I mean, like,
Appreciate that.
that was the all-time low. I mean, it was as cringy of a night as I've had professionally. I mean,
Wow.
thinking back on it, I mean, I want to totally
Not
just-
remember it
ugh.
anymore.
Can you listen to that song? Or do you get PTSD?
No.
Really?
When I hear it, I think back to
Oh
it.
yeah, what a moment.
But I still do belt out the
The only words
chorus.
you know to it.
That's right.
Everyone loves that song.
I know.
It's a
It,
great
it
song.
starts off as
It's a
such
great
a
song.
starts off such a banger too. Then you're like, well, I guess nobody actually knows the words after that. I didn't.
know.
I petered out just as fast as
Exactly.
you did.
Exactly. I was like, I know this. We know that one, right? Sure. Yeah, play it.
So you don't even go into like your song. Like, what song should we pick?
Very unprepared.
Yeah.
Very unprepared.
Let me flip through this disc real quick and see which ones they got. Yeah.
The book
Brad Johnson next. Big Bad Brad.
Big Bad
back
Brad.
by popular demand. Who is just annihilating social media right now. He has made us download TikTok. He has made us get TikTok. His TikTok game is so strong. He's fantastic. We'll talk to him next. He's also Max's dad. Give us 30 seconds. Brad Johnson on the other side. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Nah, man, we're good. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, Adam Miller coming up here in 30 minutes, who is a natural scorer from the University of Illinois, is transferring to LSU basketball and has a huge wave of momentum behind the Tigers on the transfer and in the transfer portal. As we will talk to Adam Miller, Hunt Palmer was here, but we have been looking forward to our next conversation as Big Bad Brad Johnson here is back by popular demand. My guy is killing social media right now. We had to get in touch with him. They saw the father-son challenge where Max and the Bull, Big Bad Brad, from 35 yards out on the doink. How far out, Coach?
Well, the one with Max and I, we were at the 20-yard line. So
that's a layup for you, Coach.
Yeah, that's a 30-yard throw complete. I did one from the 40, which is about a 55-yard throw, counting the end zone, the height of the bar at LSU practice facility. That one took a little bit of work, and so I've had fun with these, making TikTok videos and basketball trick shots and doink shots and golfing things, and kind of find humor out of it. I mean, I did a couple yesterday, and I left. I came home last night. I was cramping.
Still got it.
Exhausted, man. I was exhausted, but it's been fun, and actually, I was out on the field. I was throwing the crossbar the other day with Max, and then there were some students sitting in the stands, and before he threw, they go, "Holy cow! Here they go! They're going to make a doink video." So it's kind of getting around a little bit.
No, it is. It is, man. You're doing it's the accessibility. I mean, people can relate to that. You have people laughing. You have people kind of wanting more. You have a pinned tweet that I quote tweeted that has a 3-point shot that you bounced off the floor. Then you drain a 3-pointer. Then you spin the finger, you spin the ball on your finger and make a layup off of it. And then you make a full court shot with a football. It's incredible to watch when you're just watching the video of it. How long did it take you to get that?
You know what? Some videos I've done in 5 minutes. Some videos, there's one video that I did. That video you're talking about, that probably took about 2.5 hours. Yeah. Because you got to make every shot, and then you feel the pressure of it. And then I did there's one with an ocean spray. I'm drinking the ocean spray, and that one, it took a long time. The ball bounces over the back of the backboard, and honestly, you start feeling the pressure. You got to make that football long shot at the very end. I start licking my fingers, and here we, you're like you're back underneath center again. You know what I mean? So, it is pure enjoyment when you make it. And all my life, I mean, all I did was drills and drills and drills. And so I never took any half-court shots or any spin shots. And now I'm 52 years old and retired. I can do whatever I want to do. So I'm making trick shot videos for TikTok. So it's fun.
It's awesome, man.
And I have fun. I'll say, I always say Big Bad Brad back by popular demand on my TikTok fans. So it's just something fun. It's humor, and that's what it's made for.
We love it, man. We love it. You seem very natural. Obviously, you played quarterback. You're a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You played at Florida State. But I mean, the jumper looks smooth. The golf swing looks smooth. Who is the best athlete? This may be an unfair question because you played with so many of them along the way, and you played on great teams. But who, as a professional athlete, did you say, "Damn, that he's a great athlete"?
Yeah, there's two guys that I would say they could do everything from parlor sports like bowling and ping pong to throwing darts and air hockey and those kind of things, and obviously shooting basketball and golf and football. The two guys that really, really come to my mind is John Smoltz, Hall of Fame baseball player. He's a scratch golfer, had a basketball offer, I think, to Michigan State, can throw a football. He can play an accordion. He's got a Pac-Man record and Gallagher record you can't even imagine breaking, you know what I mean? He can multitask like no other.
Wow.
And a great ping pong player. And then the other one's actually Tony Romo. Tony's very good at all sports. He can play soccer, tennis. He was a basketball player, could play in college. Obviously, he was, Ring of Honor in Dallas and, tremendous quarterback. Now he's an announcer. But those two guys can do it all, all sports. And, you can see Tony. He's won, I think, the Celebrity Golf Tour, that thing at Tahoe a couple of times and stuff. So, guys, but honestly, that's, I think the more you can do kind of thing, multitask like that, you're probably pretty good with your hands and eye coordination and just skills and kind of thing. And what I think the greatness of it is you really become kind of creative with your mind.
Sure.
And whether it's, drawing up plays in the dirt and the dirt, playing backyard football or basketball, those kind of things. So that's what's kind of neat about it.
We were talking to Jimmy Burrow, Joe's dad, a couple of weeks back going into the NFL draft, and he was talking about how he urged Joe and his sons growing up to play multiple sports. Did you see the advantage of that for Max and for Jake now as he comes up?
No doubt.
Yeah. No
doubt. I think, I think what kind of gets lost for kids is two things. One, I don't think they play enough. They pick teams in the backyard. Play shirts and skins and go play basketball. And just play imaginary games of frisbee golf and, kick the can and, just games. And then watch the games really on TV and hear the announcers, how they explain the game and those kind of things. So a kid that can play basketball, usually, what's your man offense? What's your zone offense? What is your Alabama's play with 5 seconds? Alabama's play with, you're down 4 with, 15 seconds, those kind of things, just strategy, being able to draw plays up on a grease board or in the dirt, those kind of things, being able to communicate. And so I do believe multitasking, playing both sports is key. And it carries over just in your eye-hand coordination and then your leadership skills in both. And then sometimes you're not as good in one sport as the other. So sometimes you may be a leader, sometimes you may be a follower, and those kind of things. And just learning both roles of, being able to be both.
Jake is tabbed as the top tight end in the country, one of the top pass-catching tight ends in the recruiting cycle. He shut down the recruiting process and pledged to LSU. This LSU recruiting class that is surrounding him has 5 stars just dripping out of it, whether it's Walker Howard, the quarterback, Will Campbell, the offensive tackle. There's a couple of skill players in that class, and then you add Jake to it. Can you tell us about his recruitment and then ultimately choosing LSU from your point of view?
Yeah, Jake went. He got to go through the process a little bit with Max, watching him go through it and going all the summer camps and those kind of things, and meeting a lot of the head coaches when he was in 8th and 9th grade. And then obviously he went through that own process, and he dealt with head coaches and coordinators on his own, phone conversations, and he's able to make a decision on his own. So it was tough because you want to do what's right for you. And at the end of the day, he just felt very, very comfortable. He's been on campus a bunch at LSU, been to camps, been around Coach O, obviously making a relationship with the tight ends coach, with Derek Shea and Tyler Orgeron, and then ultimately, Jake Pete's coming in had a big factor on him too. So, but I think, if you're going to win, you want to be in a great system for all kids. You want to be in a great system and be around great players, and then, kids that love ball and love work ethic and want to be a part of something special. So I know those guys, they get on video games and, he's made a great relationship, I think, already with Walker and Jack Besh and some guys like that. They're on their own chat lines playing Fortnite or Madden football games. And so it's been fun for them just to kind of develop, and then eventually they'll be together pretty soon.
What type of player is he, Coach, for us down here in Louisiana? Don't see him every Friday night and just see the highlights of him. I mean, he looks big, fast, and strong, but when you watch him play from your point of view, what's his advantage?
Yeah, Jake, he's 5'5", 6'6". He's long arms. He loves to compete. He loves to learn. He loves to be taught. He loves to, what's the process of why you're putting in a play, and he wants to be coached. And I think that's his number one trait. He wants to be coached. He wants to learn. Obviously, he has, certain skill set that's pretty unique. And He has an ability to run routes and catch balls and just and the will to get better. So he's excited. It'll be a great fit for him being at LSU. And obviously, he is. We live 596 miles away. We drive that route a lot. Right? Yeah, I got a tag in the back of my car. It tells you. If anybody sees it, it says Tiger Stadium, 596 miles. So,
Nice.
but
Nice.
it's Coach O. He says that's he shows you where. He says that's where you sleep and that's where you eat. This is where you train and this is where you develop and that's where you shine. He's talking about this Tiger Stadium. So, but it's neat for both our kids to be together and just be a part of a special place.
How much did Max Johnson have to do with the recruitment at all? Was he in his brother's ear at all, or did you want him to have his own kind of own journey to recruiting?
That's a unique thing. It's a great question. I mean, Max had to make a decision for himself, and that's a long, long story. And I'm sure one day we'll talk about it. But that was a long. It was a hard decision, but he felt like it's the right decision, and he even feels more confirmed about it now. And Max had to let Jake make his own decision. He said, listen, he told him the benefits of it, and Jake's been on campus a bunch, just visiting, and but just he had developed some great relationships with some other schools and head coaches and some people. But at the end of the day, he has to make that decision what he wants to live with, and obviously Max had a big part of it. But it's also a place where he felt like he could. Grow as a person and have a great career and just look forward to working and learning and getting better at LSU.
Seemed like Max had a good month of spring drills. What did you make of his workouts, his 15 practices, and his first spring with DJ Mangus as the passing game coordinator and Jake Peets as the offensive coordinator?
I just felt like the team, they all got better. I mean, they had some injuries along the way, but they found, different ways to. I went down for the scrimmages and obviously the spring game. I just felt like the team was really, really coming together. And so it's fun to, they got a new coordinator with Jake Peets and DJ Mangus, but you have a lot of former coaches that have been there too. So I think they're just growing. I think the great thing about that team was they had a lot of kids come back that could have graduated and went on, but they wanted to come back. I think the way they finished last season was a big part of recruiting your own players. And so I think that was the key especially the line play. And so it'll be fun to watch them grow. I feel like Max is excited and getting better. But I feel like all those quarterbacks, they got better throughout the whole spring. And I think you just got a lot of guys that are very hungry to play and want to compete and have a great year this year.
What's the offseason? What are you looking forward to offseason in him improving between year one and year two? From your point of view, I know that you guys work out a lot in the offseason together. Is there an emphasis this offseason?
Yeah, I think for a quarterback, there's the three P's. One is knowing your protections, and then going to be able to go through your protections are key, and then be able to go through your progressions, making reads real fast, and getting through it and being decisive, and then obviously developing your relationship with the play caller. Mm-hmm. And those things are very, very key. And then just feeling comfortable in the system and the people around you. So I feel, like all those quarterbacks, they grew this spring. I feel like Coach Peets has made an emphasis as far as not just, learning football and schemes, but just developing that trust and relationship and just how they can grow as, on the field, off the field, but then have a full understanding of what that system provides and where it can grow. And so I feel like, obviously, from year one, you just we're not lining up in the line.
Sure.
Where'd I go? You know what I mean? And then, what's the snap count? And then dude, you're hungry for plays, and you want to watch more film. You want to grow. You want to get better. And so I think the biggest thing is just being decisive and accurate with the ball, and understand those three things I was talking about with protections, progressions, and then going with your play caller.
Coach, last time you were on here, you rattled off some play calls yourself from back in the day. Is that something that runs in the family? We can depend on Max to have that recall?
What's interesting about college? I don't know if they call plays anymore.
Everything comes in from the sideline, right?
Yeah, they're sitting out there with like an owl, just with their heads on a swivel, looking to the sideline. So, but it's different. There's probably where college ball is now is probably where I was as a professional in my 5th or 6th year in the league, as far as audibles and box counts and hand signals and man and zone plays and being full field reads. So it's pretty cool. to see where they're at. And it's competitive every day, for those kids. And I know Max, he says, man, he says like, every day's a game day. You're going against, Derek Stingley and Elias Ricks. And it's extremely competitive. So, you better come with your eyes wide open every day.
Brad, what do you make of Urban Meyer bringing back Tim Tebow as a tight end?
Yeah, you know what? Coach Meyer, he's had unbelievable success, man. In college, and then obviously he's getting ready. He's going to have to learn the pro game. The hashes are different, the rosters are different, and you can't recruit. You got free agents, you got to draft, but he's a smart guy and he'll figure it out. But Tebow, he deserves every right to make that team. But they'll choose the best 53. So I think it's great that if Tebow wants to keep the dream alive, then great. But at the end of the day, they're going to keep what's best on the roster. I don't have a clue what's going on down there, but it's I think it's awesome. A guy won a Heisman national championship for him, so Urban can do whatever he wants to, and Tebow's good enough, he'll make it. So we'll see what happens.
How is the last one, Coach? We'll get you out of here. How's the schedule work for you as a coach and as a dad these days that is so influential in your son's life? How do you manage coaching and what's going on at home?
Yeah, it's wild. We're in spring football right now. We even in the fall we practice at 6 a.m. every day, and then we do walkthroughs in the afternoon. And then somewhere during the day, I find time to either work out and watch film, and then I get my golf and my TikTok videos in there too. So
All scheduled.
Yeah, it's work, man. It is work, but I think it's been a great break for Max to come home. And Jake, and really, we get separated as a family, and then for them to kind of be back together and sleep in their own beds, and for Max just food in the pantry. He hadn't seen that in a year, and
clean clothes.
Clean clothes. It's just a little bit different, but it's great for family time, but looking forward to the fall, and I'm really looking forward for all those kids on the team, honestly, to go back to classes, to not just be doing online classes, and just where they get to grow as college students, and life besides just being in a dorm and Zoom calls and football. So I think those are great things, and hopefully I think things will open up this fall for a lot of those kids.
Big Bad Brad, back by popular demand right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Our friend, thank you as always for great conversation and insight. We'll be reaching out again soon. Thank you. Thanks, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. All
right, man. There's Brad Johnson checking in this morning as he was he's a high school football coach over there in the state of Georgia, and he's a social media star as he's blowing up on TikTok. We are brought to you daily by AdvantaClean. Remember, online at ADVANTAClean.com. Looks like it's going to rain again today here in South Louisiana. Looking outside the windows of the UDL, and it is dark outside. Is it already starting to rain? So if you've got water damage, if you've got mold damage, if you've got fire damage, remember, AdvantaClean can help you out this morning. Online at ADVANTAClean.com, or you can get in touch with Bradley Lynch and the crew. They're over there located in Industriaplex here in Baton Rouge, and you can call them 24 hours a day, 225-369-5228, 369-5228. To get in touch with AdvantaClean and Bradley Lynch and the crew over there. But remember, water, fire, mold damage, AdvantaClean can help you out. They work directly with the insurance company. They work directly with the contractor. So once you make that call, even though it's a bad call because you got water, fire, or mold damage, Bradley's going to take care of it and get it all taken care of with the working with the subcontractors and working with the people that'll be over there and making the repairs. So get in touch with them, AdvantaClean.com. Bradley Lynch, and tell him you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Good stuff from Brad Johnson, Max's and Jake's dad, giving some insight to Jake's recruiting.
What do you think they think of the TikTok?
It seemed like Max was kind of down with it. At that point, if your dad, he was kind of getting his hair ready. He knew his dad's got some viewership.
Yeah. I guess you got to take it kind of seriously. Don't embarrass me, son.
That's right. You know what? In today's world, in 2021, with as many people that are on those mediums, I'd imagine that kids like Max and Jake with a famous dad are probably embracing it. what else can you do? But he sounds like he's pretty.
He's not
fired up
stopping.
for it.
Yeah,
right.
he likes it.
It's on the agenda.
Yes.
I mean, it's happening today.
2 hours for a trick shot.
I mean, did you see that video?
I didn't see that.
Bro,
one.
It's insane.
He bounces a 3-point shot
gotta see
into the net. As soon as it drops into the net, he scoops one up out of the basket, drops a 3-pointer. Then he does like the old Pistol Pete, where he spins it on his finger and bumps it up into the goal. Then he takes a football and throws it the length 94 feet and drains it. I mean, all you got to do is go to his Twitter account. I mean, we can play it.
I have the Doink. I have the original one that we talked about playing, but I can go find it.
And that one's just as cool. I mean, the Doink video is him and Max.
So he's still massive.
Yeah, bro, athlete.
And I think that's what this is. Like, he's just such a competitor. It's something for him to, like,
I
get his
still got
juices
it.
going. Like, that's what's unreal about it. It's like, hell yeah, I'm going to do TikTok videos. Comes back 2 hours later, sweaty as hell.
John Smoltz sounds like a beast.
That
Probably
sounded, that was,
play the accordion.
yeah,
Play the accordion.
yeah.
Hall of Fame
Amazing.
pitcher.
I mean,
John Smoltz sounds like a guy you don't want to invite
Scratch
to the party.
golfer.
Like,
yeah,
oh.
right. Yeah, right.
The bachelor party, it's like, well, John Smoltz is here, so we're all playing for second and everything.
There's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Here, John. You don't have to fight. No fight, bro.
Yeah, toss him an accordion. Oh, wait, I can do that too.
What? We talked about guitar playing, guys, but never.
I mean,
accordion.
whip out an accordion at a
I
party
don't
and see
even
what
know what to
happens.
say about that.
That
Let's
was
try it
nice
out
right
there.
there.
Here we go.
You got it? Video 2?
Doink! Doink!
Unreal.
We're behind on the studio. All right, we were talking about with Hunt about the next docuseries or the next documentary that's coming out
There it
on SEC Network. Thank you. Called "Hold the Rope," and this is about Skip Bertman and the LSU baseball rise to fame and the powerhouse that they are right now. This is Bertman turning the program into a 5 national championship winning program. The new stadium with his field named after him, just 200 yards away where the old Alec Box Stadium stood. I can't wait to watch this. In fact, Ronnie Rance, who is a friend of ours, texted and said they're having a watch party for this, and then that Skip is going to be there on May 24th over at La Bears that they're selling tickets to and selling tables to. That seems like would be a great night to go out on May 24th and check that out with so much history in one room. And I think, the further we get away from those Skip Bertman years, the more the people that were there truly appreciate in what we were seeing. We had a chance to talk a little bit about it to Richard Lipsey, who came in about a month ago. And sat down with us, and Richard was one of the first calls that Skip Bertman made when he got to town, in pitching him some of the promotional ideas that he had in growing the LSU baseball brand. I can remember my grandfather being an honorary member or a debut member, one of the original members of the coaches committee that Skip Bertman formed with guys like Richard Lipsey and my grandfather Frank Culotta and Dr. Coogan here in town, and Wally McMakin, and to all the people that were very passionate about LSU sports and specifically LSU baseball. In those years that Bertman was beginning to host regionals and bringing LSU to events like the Piggly Wiggly Classic in Tulane Stadium, and flying LSU baseball to Florida State on a sunny afternoon to play a nationally televised game between LSU and Florida State on ESPN back in the late 80s, or being able to get Ben McDonald on campus when LSU didn't quite have the cachet from a baseball program as some of the others that were recruiting against McDonald, like Mississippi State. Ron Polk, one of Bertman's best friends from back in the day, that the documentary will look at. I can't wait to be able to check this out, because really and truly, it's my childhood. I still can remember LSU hosting one of their first regionals. It had to be one of their first regionals because it was such a special time in the city that my grandfather came and checked me out of school when I was probably Jordan's age. I was probably in 3rd or 4th grade, and he came and checked me out of school when LSU was playing on a Friday afternoon or like a Friday around lunchtime in the openings in the opening round of a regional at Alec Box Stadium, and it felt like we didn't leave the box until Sunday night. We'd leave Friday night at 11:30. We'd come back Saturday morning at 9 a.m. We'd leave Saturday night at 10 p.m., and we'd be back on Sunday after church to watch the rest of the games. I mean, those were some of the weekends that we had growing up, and a lot of my friends, a lot of my generational friends, people that are around Baton Rouge now, were all at those games with us. And we were, when we were young, we were out in the corners playing stickball while the games were happening. As we continued to grow up and LSU became successful, we were parked in the seats and watching LSU becoming the powerhouse that they are today. I mean, the names, the memories of that time for LSU baseball to be able to be captured by the SEC network and give Skip Bertman the respect and the highlights and the spotlight that he is due will be fantastic to watch on May 24th.
Do you know who the guest speakers will be in the documentary?
I know one for sure.
Rance?
Oh, Ronnie Rance.
Oh, for sure.
He's he doesn't know how he feels about his performance. He said, I wanted to do like he does, his Skip Bertman impersonation. He's like, I thought I was gonna make it light. I sat down there and I got emotional. I got in my feels a little bit.
Well, I mean,
it's hard for him not to, but it's not what you expect from a Ronnie who takes things pretty lightly.
Absolutely. Anytime you talk to those early guys,
it means a lot
about Skip Bertman. I mean, you talk to even the Doug Thompson, who was kind of, Doug was on the 96, 97 team, on the 97, 98 team, which, ideally is later in Skip's career. I mean, what Skip means to those guys and what he means to not only them as baseball players, but some of the things they still do together off the field. I mean, that 1986 team with Mike Papajohn, the actor out of Hollywood, and those guys, they still get together every single year and go to Skip's house and share stories. And, guys like Pete Bush, who's in town as a successful businessman who was on that team. And, I mean, just the stories that they have is tremendous. And I'd imagine that all those guys, we will hear from all of them during that time, because, I mean, when you get Doug Thompson, Ronnie Rance, Paul Bird, some of the old faces and old heads of LSU baseball in one table under one roof, and you get them telling Skip stories and reminiscing, I mean, they will have you crying literally both in laughter and in tears in both their stories and the sentimental value that they share for Skip, but then the way that they can imitate him, the way that they can just give you scenarios and stories of how Skip would present. We've got to get Doug Thompson at some point to sit down and tell his recruiting story of when Skip came to watch him pitch at a junior college, and he's in the bullpen and Skip's standing right here, and Doug can do he can do the inflection in the voice and do everything on how, he just felt this world of pressure with college baseball's, best coach in the game, standing 3 feet away from him after he had just met him and telling him what pitch to throw, and wanted to see if he could do it right there, real time. That's just one of many phenomenal stories. But coming up, Hold the Rope on the SEC network. I can't wait to see that, because it's going to take me back to my childhood. I mean, there's just so many names and faces that pop that will stand out. When we come back, we're going to talk to Adam Miller. Miller has LSU baseball fans buzzing down here. LSU basketball fans buzzing
and
down
baseball
here.
fans. Hell, we got nothing else to look forward to.
Why not? As Miller and the cavalry is coming in for LSU basketball as they overhaul this roster, we'll ask Miller why Baton Rouge next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, jordy@jordyculotta.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy@jordyculotta.com to learn more. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, live on this Tuesday morning, presented by Go Chevrolet. Stop in and see the boys out there in LaPlace, or if you need a used car on Florida Boulevard right here in Baton Rouge. Online, GEAUX, Chevrolet.com. LSU basketball fans are buzzing over the last couple of weeks as Will Wade has been doing work. My man has turned this roster into a top 10 team going into the season next year after the addition of Efton Reed yesterday. Tari Eason, his paperwork came through from Cincinnati. Xavier Pinson, the transfer guard out of Missouri, but nobody got the LSU basketball fan base as fired up as Adam Miller did. Miller, a 6'3 combo guard who started all 31 games last season for Illinois, busted out in the tournament as he scored 28 in the opening round for the Illini. If you looked at the transfer portal rankings, nobody had Miller outside of the top 3. Some people had him number 1. A lot of services had him right there at number 2. He decides to come to LSU, and the basketball fan base is they are buzzing here this morning, and we have time to catch up with Adam Miller here on this Tuesday morning. Very grateful for your time, man. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Headed to a workout now, so I guess we started the day out right.
Hell yeah. We heard from Will Wade yesterday, and that's the way he describes you, as a gym junkie, just a gym rat. Couldn't keep you out of the gym. What is your daily regimen like?
Most of the time I give me 2 workouts in, give me a lift in, and, I go about my day, try to get it out the way early. I work in, then, I eat like twice a day, try to get me some protein here and there, but just fall in love with the grind, fall in love with it, but I got a chip on my shoulder, so I'm working extra hard.
What is your emphasis this offseason in improving what in your game?
I've been improving a lot on ball screens, improving my ball handling, and just also improving my shot, really my all-around game, because I see myself as an all-around player, so I try to refine everything when I work out.
When I watch you play, you remind me of Jamal Murray. I hope you don't take that with any disrespect. I know you're your own man, but your game reminds me of Jamal Murray with your ability to kind of create from distance, but you're athletic enough to just break them down and get to the rim. How would you describe your game?
Yeah, I say that true combo, like a CJ Dame mix. Like really, I try to variate my offensive style, I try to make sure I stay versatile and just try to do everything, I feel like having a shot is one of the best things. It's always try to have a shot, but you always got to get to the rim too. So, just having, being good at everything, is what I try to do.
Why LSU? It seems like LSU gives you an opportunity to be that person, right? I mean, just kind of be yourself as a basketball player. Is that what made most sense about LSU for you?
Yeah, it made a lot of sense. I really went into my decision looking at where I was going to be most comfortable, what coach I felt most comfortable with, what coach I felt most serious with. Me and Will Wade, we got locked in from the start. We talked about basketball, we talked about games, we watched some NBA games together, talked about some college games. We talked about college period, and, I just kind of got that bond with him. And, it was like, okay, I feel like I could trust him, and I want to come in and lead a team. I want to help a team, get to that stage, get to March Madness, go deep in the tournament. And, I feel like I can help Will Wade do that. Just from the start, we got a close bond. I feel like I'll run through a wall for him. So, I'm ready to come in, lead, and do what I got to do.
Wow. Another prospect's dad called him the Elon Musk of college basketball. I'd imagine that you've had every college basketball in the country blowing up your phone over the last 2 weeks. What is it about Wade specifically that makes him stand out through this process? Because it seems like he is relating very well to you guys. His message seems to be getting through.
No, for sure. I kind of feel like I've seen him do it with Cam. Me and Cam, we're close. Like, always with the Cam is like one of the players like that played like me in a way. I feel like he scored. Cam is a great scorer. I feel like I still say a little bit more than Cam, but if there's anybody, like, I'd say in our class that I look at and I was like, okay, I like their game. I think we're kind of similar. It'd probably be Cam, and I know Cam's situation. I feel like we kind of got the same situation. So he did it with somebody like me, and he's gonna allow me to do what I gotta do, and I feel like that's the best key, getting that relationship, because I'm ready to just go through everything and win at this point.
Are you going to wear 44 at LSU?
Yes, I will wear 44.
Wow. Do you know how special that number is to the program?
A lot.
Yeah, man.
Big, huge.
That is cool, because I
It's
know
a blessing to be able to. It's a blessing to be able to wear that number.
I bet. I know that Miss Faye Sims, who is Wade's mother, approved that. I know that she was asked on whether or not that would be cool, and she greenlit that. So I know that that's got to mean a lot to you, because she and her family and Wade obviously mean so much to our community.
For sure.
What was this process like? What was being in the transfer portal for a player like you like? Because you come with so much cachet. I mean, as we said coming in, they rated the transfer portal guys, and out of 1,400 players that entered, you were either 1, 2, or 3 in all of those services. What was this process like for you?
The process for me was kind of like senior year again, but this time I had a manual this time. Like I kind of knew what to expect, kind of knew what to take in. I look at college from a different viewpoint than I was as a senior. I've been through it. I've been through the days you didn't want to go through, but the days you kept grinding, the days you didn't feel like doing it, but you keep your head on, you keep going hard. So I kind of knew what to expect. I kind of knew what people would say. I kind of knew, just the all-around aspect of what people would tell me that I would want to hear. I feel like there were some schools at the end, and I was like, man, it could go either way. But like I said, that relationship I got with Will Wade, and the situation I viewed at LSU, and I always was a fan growing up at LSU. I feel like it was the best situation, and I'm 110% locked in with that.
Wade was very impressed with your leadership skills, and not just on the floor. He mentioned it yesterday when we interviewed him here, and then he said it a couple of times in breaking you down. He's very impressed that you do things off of the floor like charity work with children. Can you explain to our listeners what you have going on away from basketball?
Well, I got to give most of the credit to my mother, but me and my mom, we've held a free Ace Wolf basketball camp back in Peoria. We held one in Chicago. This year, I'm a freshman. I was a freshman in college. So that was my 5th year doing that. My 5th year. Yeah, wow. I'm my 5th year into it. Yeah, that's a lot. I looked up like, wow, yeah, it's my 5th year. I'm not even really, grown yet. But,
no, bro, you're still a baby, man, and you act like you old.
I had a toy drive for Christmas for some kids down in Peoria. And I had my mom held a girls basketball camp in Peoria too. So, just giving back, as much as we can. We do little things here and there, but my mom really helps me come up with those ideas, because, I'd be so focused on the court, and my mom might hit me with boom, boom, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. Yeah. I'm the lazy guy. My mom's like, no, let's get up and do this. And, she helps me get up and do it. When I get there, I just take over and do what I do, because I love the game. So, I love helping people, and I love how the game helps people that don't even play the game. So that's how I view the game. And that's how I view the support, because, I feel like people supported me that way. So I want to give back too.
There are a lot of lazy people listening to this, listening to you going to your first workout of 2 today, thinking, man, if he's lazy, what the hell am I?
Define it differently.
Have you been to Baton Rouge? Have you been to South Louisiana yet?
Nah, I haven't. But everybody told me I'm gonna love it. I feel like I'm gonna love it. Yeah. I don't know. I'm ready. I'm ready to go down there though. I'm telling you, I'm ready.
I imagine that you get this a lot of up your way. But Illinois was considered to be one of the top teams. Why did you choose to transfer?
My main decision with choosing to transfer was, I don't know, there was a lot of speculation going around and a lot of news, but it really wasn't like anything like where I'm just like, because I feel like Illinois was a good situation for me. Once I found out I could put my name in the transfer portal and they recruit me, I was like, okay, and just value my options. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna see who it is, got contact from everybody, I just weigh my options at that point, because at this point, this is serious make sure I make the best decision. I feel like going to LSU was the best decision.
You were one of the top freshmen, obviously, in the Big Ten. LSU picked up the top freshman from the AAC. They picked up one of the top guards in the SEC in Xavier Pinson. They picked up a 5-star forward yesterday in Efton Reed. What do you make of this roster? I got you guys as a top 10 team in the country going into the season. What is your expectation?
For sure. At this point, I don't see rankings. I don't see top 10 because I feel like that softens you up. I don't want us to be able to, from day one, come in and work hard. You know, I feel like our practice is going to be battles, definitely strong battles. You know, it's going to take work first. So me, I'm not even worried about the rankings at this point. I want to earn something first. That's how I feel about it.
Adam Miller, let me be the first one out of the LSU basketball family to welcome you to South Louisiana. Our state is fired up to see you wearing the purple and gold, and can't wait to watch you hoop, man. Have a great summer and safe travel down to South Louisiana.
Appreciate that. Thank you, man.
Absolutely, man. Take care. There's Adam Miller checking in this morning. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Two workouts.
Right there, bro.
Yeah, there's some going on in Illinois. You hear that answer?
What, coming out of it?
Yeah, so there's some speculation.
I think he's probably saying up there. That there was probably like people are probably speculating like what happened. Why is Adam Miller leaving? And it sounds like he wanted to leave because he just wanted to put his name in the portal and see what would happen. Right? I mean, I think that there was probably a lot of guys that say, you know what? Adam Miller is probably looking at this, and I should ask him, and I'm sorry I didn't, if he's looking at this as a one-year stop. You know what I mean? If LSU is going to be a one-year stop for him, not saying that he's going to re-enter the portal, saying that he's the type of talent that he could get to the league after this season. So I wonder how many people in his scenario say, hey, look, I only got one more year at this thing. I experienced playing at home for a school like Illinois. Let me see what type of feedback I would get if my name was accessible to coaches. And then you sit down, you have a conversation with Will Wade, and he blows your mind in the sense of, hey man, you come down here, we've got an example like Cam Thomas that you can highlight. And there's examples along the way on how he can use him and be an advantage down here. And you got Adam Miller thinking maybe it might be a good fit for 1 year just to go down there and see what happens and get coached by somebody else and put that on my basketball resume. So
I think the comparison to Cam Thomas answers your question if you think it's a 1 year stop or not, because that's what I think. If he's comparing himself to Cam and saw how Cam kind of navigated his first year at LSU, he's doing the same thing. Yeah, he's like, I want to go to LSU for 1 year and see if I can up my draft stock.
Yeah. Cool story about the 44.
Yes.
He'll wear that.
That is cool.
And as some people were pointing out inside of the bunker, Don Redden was number 44 as well in this program, which bears very much significance not only on this show, but, of course, in the history of LSU basketball. Redden, the captain of that 86 Final Four team, and Wade Sims being a Baton Rouge local legend coming out of University High in just his year and a half that he was on campus. Was so sudden, and of course he wore 44 just like his dad did. Wayne Sims, who played alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Chris Jackson, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. All right, let's let us reset and get ready for the last 15 minutes. We'll close out the Jordy Culotta show. Good day of interview and conversation. We appreciate everybody for stopping by here. That was good stuff from Adam Miller out of Illinois. It was good conversation with Brad Johnson. Anytime we talk about LSU basketball, remember it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. We were over there yesterday with Jim Pergison, our banker over at Citizens Bank and Trust, and all the power was in the back room yesterday over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Will Wade was over there celebrating his success on the recruiting trail, and then Garrett Graves was having a fundraiser in the back that brought out all of the Dons. All five families represented yesterday in the back room over at Phil's Oyster Bar. So it was great to see everybody there, Anthony and the crew. Great seafood menu over at Phil's Oyster Bar. We had the oysters yesterday. They were fantastic. So stop in and see them today if you're looking for great lunch specials and great seafood selections every single day. We'll be back for the last 15 minutes here, the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering. which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com to learn more. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, closing it down here on this Tuesday as we appreciate all of the interaction. Please make sure and like, share, and comment on the post. Give it a rating. It does a lot of good for us.
Just help stroke my ego.
Yes.
Makes me feel good.
Mom, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Good stuff from Adam Miller. I mean, at what point do we say out loud how good of a recruiter Will Wade is? I know how much the jokes are going to come in, and he's opened himself for that. And you know, make your jokes. But as you make your jokes, you get quotes from guys like Adam Miller saying that he's going to run through a wall for Will Wade after learning that Miller's never even been to Baton Rouge. He's only known him for a couple of months, really. And he has that type of...
Elon Musk of college basketball from a kid's dad.
He's got that type of enthusiasm. The Elon Musk of college basketball comment.
Loving them.
Maria Reed, 24 hours ago, her enthusiasm in talking about Will Wade and why. And really and truly, if you listen to Severe Wheeler's dad, which we played that clip yesterday at the front end of our show, of Wheeler and his dad breaking down some of the options that they have in the transfer portal. And as they talk about Wade, and you know, the line that everybody is gripping onto is the Elon Musk of college basketball. But after that, he goes into saying how he is the only one that had a clear-cut plan that was very detailed and explained it to where both Wheeler and his old man really understood it and really could make sense of it. And then Efton Reed's mom, Maria Reed, asked the same question 8:30 yesterday morning. Go back and listen to it if you need to, on why LSU and Will Wade won out. And she said ultimately, once she got past all of the, they share the same birthdays and some of the things that she was talking about that they were discussing and recruiting, it came to Efton wanted a plan, and Will Wade was the one that gave him the plan, described it, and said this is how it's going to play out. And for
quote, Will Wade gets people to the NBA.
I mean, his recruiting genius has been explained by subjects over the last 48 hours right here where, open up our eyes, man. He is dominating recruiting. To hear guys like Miller, you got to imagine what Adam Miller's cell phone looked like once his name went into the transfer portal. Mike Krzyzewski was calling Adam Miller. The biggest names in the sport were going after Miller. And Will Wade is the one that won out, and he won out by what Miller just told you. He created a relationship with that guy. They watched NBA games together. They talked about Cam Thomas's game together. They laid out clear-cut plans from LSU's standpoint on how Miller gets to Baton Rouge and succeeds for a year and gets to the NBA. I just think, man, it is another example of why Stephanie Rimpf, Scott Woodward, and the LSU Executive Committee in the Athletics building must reward this guy, extend him and pay him, and lock him up as LSU's basketball coach. Could you imagine the fallout if they lost him from the fan base?
Especially after what he's done just in this quick turnaround in recruiting. Like he's got nothing but you've got nothing but glowing reports about Will Wade. As take away the allegations or what have you. Everything since then has been only good basketball and only putting together good teams. There's no reason not to.
Some people asking about the 44 number and whether or not LSU should retire that. I think that going to the Sims family was the only way to make this right. There was no way that LSU could distribute that number to anybody coming in this program just because of the meaning that it holds to LSU basketball. It was recognizable pre-Wade Sims from Don Redden, who was a captain on a Final Four team and really one of the faces of the programs. When you think of the Mount Rushmore of LSU basketball, Redden might not be on the front line of it, but he would be in the discussion of somebody who would be up there. And then, to experience tragedy like you did with Redden, who wore that number, with him passing away so suddenly in 1988, just 2 years removed from that Final Four, to Wade Sims losing his life the night before training camp started, his third season, is tragic to say the very least. But to go to Faye and Wayne Sims and ask permission for Miller to wear that number, I think was the only way to handle that. And what happens with the number 44 in the future of LSU basketball, I think is to be determined and to be discussed, but it will always hold a special place to LSU basketball fans' hearts just because of the players that have worn that and the outcome of their tragic loss. So that was good to hear from Adam Miller. I appreciate his time here before his first workout of the day. He is a dog.
It's the hair for me.
Got great hair.
I was
great hair.
While you guys were talking, I think they're a top 10 team, Sweet 16, Elite 8, and I'm looking at ESPN. I know it's early, but ESPN has their too early top 25. We're not even the top 30.
Well, look, nobody is going to respect him, Wade. Nobody within any type of public platform is going to give him any. I kind of even think that the John Rothstein stuff of calling him an American gangster is kind of trolling a little bit. If you look at the way he interacts with people after making that comment, he's not as firm and as strong on that American gangster platform as he seems to be. He's almost kind of putting it out there to troll people in the sense. You're never going to get a good draw in the NCAA tournament. You're never going to get a call. You're never going to get any of that type of stuff. But that's the stuff from Wade's point of view and the LSU basketball's point of view that you can't control. You can't control who's going to officiate the game. You can't control on what calls you can or you can't get. What you can control is you can put together a roster that's going to make everybody, including like one seeds like Michigan, be sweating their ass off the night before they play you. Right?
Had them on the ropes.
Did they have them on the ropes? They beat their ass that first half. I mean, they played as good of 28 minutes of basketball as I've seen LSU play in the last 4 years. I mean, that's the best 28-minute stretch of basketball they've played under Will Wade that they played against Michigan. They just couldn't close the deal. They couldn't get over the hump.
Cam Thomas's first 5 baskets were unreal.
Coming off screens to his left, one dribble, splashing it over 2 defenders. I mean, that was as good as LSU could play.
Hey, Adam Miller, yeah, that could be you.
Yeah, Adam Miller, come on down. I mean, Tyree Eason, guys that LSU's been missing a rebounding presence and a defensive presence on the low block. Tyree Eason and Efton Reed, I mean, makes perfect sense for you guys. But, I mean, you cannot get caught up in the disrespect of the national media to LSU basketball anymore if you're a fan of it. At this point, you have to embrace it. Because if you let it drive you mad, you'll be uncontrollable.
I think that's
right.
Why we embrace the American. I think it's funny. I love calling Will Wade the American gangster.
I'd public enemy number one.
It's like bring it
all day. I mean, welcome to the Terror Dome. I would play that coming out. That would be my coming out music. I mean, I would bump Public Enemy everywhere I went.
That would be amazing.
I mean, I would American Gangster. I would play that up. You know, I mean, and not to say that he runs from it, right? I mean, even yesterday. I mean, yesterday. I mean, when we talked, we called him Elon Musk. But you know, I mean, how funny is it that the type of reaction the national media gets to LSU's success is to send local media guys stories that don't even exist around college basketball. I mean, I think Dick Vitale texting us a link to his weekend's charity success the night that Efton Reed commits to LSU is about as funny as it gets. Yeah. That's about as laughable of a reaction as it says everything.
The best was unprompted from you.
Exactly. Rewind the tape a year ago. Remember Musa Cisse. Remember Musa Cisse, the 5-star that LSU was in the lead for and had a silent commitment from before he made his
dog and pony show.
Exactly. And then Vitale does that hack piece on ESPN talking about where, you know, no telling what's going to happen with the program and Will Wade and all this stuff. So unprofessional. I mean, like, at the very minimum, unprofessional. But to now see where they are 365 days later, where LSU's able to get the 5-star commitment this time after doing all the work that they had done on the trail, building the relationships, making the commitment secure, and the only response Vitale has,
Dick limps in with a charity link.
Is to send the charity link of the weekend success.
I'm still doing fine over here.
$6.5 million later, Dick.
Eat that.
I mean,
he doesn't have to give that money away.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Our Dick pillow right here, front and center.
There he is.
That's an interesting thing to call it.
It is. When I said that, I did think about it right after I said
That's
it.
all right. That's all right.
Dicky pillow.
You saying we're having baseball today? No shot.
No flag football for you either, Killer.
Easy. I'm about to text Cressy to tarp the field.
Hey, that's my idea. That's my strategy. Nobody's going for it.
All right, good show today, man. Adam Miller was fantastic. Wow.
He's shooting right now.
We got it. Look at the sign on the back of Brad Johnson's truck. This is what he texted. He said, "This is the sign." We got to tweet this out.
That's so good.
I mean,
I didn't think it was that big.
I didn't either.
Unbelievable.
That might be illegal.
This is incredible.
That's a street
That's
sign.
a
It is
street
a
sign.
street sign.
Big bad Brad, dude, coming.
I said, "This is incredible. Is that stolen?"
One of one.
That is not what I
That
was
is
expecting
so
at all.
great.
I thought it was going to be like a little decal.
Me too.
Yeah.
No, this dude's got a road sign from the interstate tattooed on the back of his car.
He knew a guy.
He did know a guy.
Big Bad Brad, back by popular
You
demand.
think he gets a ticket? I don't think
Hell
so.
no. With the 14 in the middle of the window.
Gonna have to add a number.
Still rocking a 1-4. I love
Wow.
it, dude. Man, look at that.
Hey.
That's so good. All right, thanks to Brad Johnson, Big Bad Brad. Thanks to Adam Miller. Thanks to Hunt Palmer for being in studio with us. Andrew Messina, the fact that Dicky V sent you that isn't that so funny? Andrew?
So good.
I mean, isn't that so good?
Unprompted.
To have that amount of space of somebody's brain rent free is just, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
I mean, I really do wish that like a true enemy of mine. You know what I mean? Like
You wish you could have gotten somebody
that, I mean,
understands.
I wish like somebody that I really gave a bleep about, that I could piss off that much, that I could have that much ownership in their headspace to where an LSU basketball story can prompt you to just send a link, no verbiage, no message, no nothing.
Just a white
Just
flag.
check this out, man.
You should donate.
Just look at this. We raised $6.5 million for kids this weekend. All right, Dick. All
Well,
right.
LSU
Did you see
good
what
on
LSU did?
LSU
Got the
just had a
paperwork on
7-1
Adam. Got the paperwork on Miller and Efton Reed.
There's
Man,
your charity.
So good, bro. So good.
See you in March.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow, 7 a.m. Have a good day.
Bye.